If you have the Adobe Acrobat app and able to print using your phone doing the multiple tile pages, please let me know so that I can decide whether or not I want to actually get the app. But for now, I'm just going to upload it from the computer. So I'm going to go to share and download. Basically the same steps we did on the phone, on the app. I'm going to go to PDF print. And of course, I only want the first page, so page number 1. And I'm going to flatten it as a PDF and download. All right, so while we're waiting on that to download, I'm going to go right here where it says type here for search, and I'm going to put Adobe Acrobat. And it's right here. I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to go to where it says menu up here to the top. And I'm going to open. And on downloads, because we downloaded from Canva, it should be the first downloaded file. You can also save it to whatever folder you would like. But since I already know it's going to be on the download folder, I just opened it from the downloads. All right, so right here to the top, you will see the print. And here, as you can tell, it's already divided into tiled sections. Right here, I'm going to, instead of using the Epson ET8550, I will be using the 2800. Go to properties, let's see. We want to do plain paper, standard. It's at 8.5 by 11 because that's the size paper we're using. Let's go to, I'm going to keep it on plain paper. And the rest looks good. So 8.5 by 11, plain paper standard. Some people do like to use maybe the presentation paper matte. But when you're using those specialty papers on like regular sub paper, you basically have to check your manufacturers to see what they request, because you don't want to dump too much ink on the paper. And let's try standard, and let's try high. And okay. But before we press OK, of course, we're doing this as a sublimation print. So let's mirror this. So we want to mirror the image. Always remember to mirror the image, because once you press that image without it being mirrored, the words are going to be backwards. So you want to mirror your image so the words can face the right way. Let's press OK. And let's print. Here we're going to need 6 pages. So make sure that you have 6 pages, 8.5 by 11. And let's make sure your tile is at 100% over here, as you can tell. All right, let's go ahead and print it. And now it should be sent to the printer. All right, y'all, so my image is printing, and for some reason I'm getting a lot of ink dumped on the edge of this here paper. Just why I say sometimes you need to be careful on how much ink you're using on a paper. So let's just hope that the rest of the images don't come out with this big ink dump on it. All right, y'all, so I'm going to have to apologize because I thought I was recording and I basically was talking to myself this whole time. So I'm going to have to catch you up on what I've done so far. All right, so this is the top part of the rug. I have already put this here together. Basically what I'm about to do for the bottom part was the same thing I did for the top. instead, but with the top, I added a piece of tape. As you can tell, I have taped the back. So if you're familiar with the toweling system, when you're doing a large print on a small heat pressing printer, this is what you would call toweling. This is the toweling method. So what I did was, the images that I printed out, I cut them and I taped them together. For the top piece, I added tape sticky side down so that we can connect the bottom piece. And I left the border at the bottom. So this here is the tape facing upward. So I'm going to connect the bottom of the rug now to the top. So I'm going to put that to the side. I have already cut around this image. Now I'm going to place some tape on the side. So this is basically what I did. Got some tape. And I really truly apologize for that, y'all, because I was just running my mouth thinking I was actually recording. It wasn't. So this is the sticky side of the tape. So I'm going to place it down onto the corners. I'm gonna grab another small piece because I want the whole side with tape. This is what we're gonna connect our image to. All right. Here is the middle part. This center part had a border just like this here, but I already cut it off because I'm going to connect this side to that side. However, being that the top already have a white border and ready for us to apply at the bottom, I'm going to cut this border off because you don't want it to be white on white. Okay, you don't want that white border with another white border because you don't want to see any white borders in your image. So let's go ahead and cut that off. And I'm just basically cutting the white border. That I've cut that, now I'm going to connect this this center piece with the left side. I'm going to line the words up. All right. Just like that. And then I'm going to cut off any excess tape. Now for the right side. All right, I'm going to use this here border. Even though it's a small border, I'm going to use that border, and I'm going to cut off this border because once again, we do not want it to look like this. All right, we don't want that white strip in the center, so we're going to cut that off. So now I'm just cutting around the edge of the rug, or should I say the skirts. And remember, we don't want that border because we already have a border to the top. So we're going to be cutting this border. And then we're going to cut that border. And we're going to connect it. All right, y'all, so I don't even know why I'm connecting it knowing that I don't have no tape. So let's go ahead and tape this. I'm like, why is it not sticking? Y'all, it's not gonna stick if you don't put no tape. So let's flip this over, put our tape backwards, upside down. And now let's stick it. All right, and remember we cutting off any excess tape. All right, so this is what it looks like. All right, so just how I did the bottom was the same way I did the top. Now let's go ahead and connect the two pieces together. And we're gonna lay it right on the top of that tape. And remember, we don't want to see any white, so let's make sure we're covering up any of that white border. All right, y'all, so this is how you would tile your rug. Now let's get our, I don't know why I keep saying rug, but how we would do our Christmas tree skirt, y'all, not a rug. I do rugs too as well. It's the same, basically the same method if you is using the small heat press. However, if you don't feel comfortable with this here method, I do offer the full image printed. So once you receive it, all you would have to do is lay it down and press on top of your tree skirt. But I want to show this here method for those who have a small printer and a heat press. So let's get our tree skirt.